Hey Riddlers! These next 5 mysteries are really hard to solve. You might even need a little extra help. So, I'll give you 3 hints for each riddle. Bobby lived with his parents in London. They loved going to the park, the zoo. Bobby and his parents spent a lot of time together. But this night was different. Bobby's parents just left without telling him. At first, Bobby didn't notice. He was busy with his own things. Then, their neighbor Susie came over. They watched TV and had dinner together. At around 8 o'clock, Susie said she had a massive headache. She was out of pills, so she headed over to the local pharmacy, 5 minutes walk away. Just after she left, someone knocked on the door. 2 seconds later, 2 men burst in. They ignored Bobby and ran into the living room. They took the TV and the stereo. Then they ran upstairs and grabbed a laptop and an iPad. Just like that, they were gone. Susie got back a few minutes later. She was shocked. She called the police. When they came, she told them that Bobby was home alone during the robbery. Those guys broke into the house and stole a lot of stuff, but Bobby didn't try to stop them. Actually, he wasn't even that surprised by the whole thing. Why not? Hint 1. Bobby wasn't sleeping during the robbery. Hint 2. Bobby isn't disabled. He saw and heard everything. Hint 3. Bobby is a human. Why didn't Bobby do anything? Bobby's only 9 months old. He can't even walk yet. Today was Steven's lucky day. He got promoted. Steven was so happy he wanted to celebrate with his friends at a karaoke bar. He left the office at 7 and drove over. Steven met a beautiful woman at the bar. They spent the whole time talking. She even agreed to go on a date the next day. This day keeps getting better and better. The party ended late. Steven was still in a great mood, but when he walked outside, he felt something strange. The night was dark and cold. There was fog everywhere. Steven jumped into his car. It was impossible to see the road. He had to be careful. Well, he wasn't careful enough. Steven missed his turn and spun off the road. He crashed through a fence and rolled down a steep hill. The car crashed into a river. Steven realized his arm was broken. He couldn't get his seatbelt off. He was stuck. The car sank to the bottom of the river. Steven was trapped inside. Rescuers arrived 2 hours later. Steven was still in the car, but he was alive. How come? Hint 1. No one helped Steven before the rescuers got there. Hint 2. Steven can only hold his breath for 1 minute max. Hint 3. He doesn't have any superpowers. How did Steven survive? The water only came up to his chest. Crazy day. A really nice jewelry store got robbed. It had the best security system available. Sensors, cameras, even traps. Plus, there were guards watching the store around the clock. But it was useless. The thief stole millions of dollars worth of jewelry. He didn't leave any fingerprints or clues. No one saw anything. The police had nothing. But Detective Miller knew it could only be one person. The famous criminal, Elusive Joe. The detective went to Joe's house and asked him about the robbery.
Nah, that wasn't me. I haven't left the house for 5 days because of this never-ending rain.
The storm really had been going on for ages. Detective Miller was about to leave when he saw something. Finally! He had proof that Joe went out recently. What did he see? Hint 1. Joe lives alone. Hint 2. He washed his clothes this morning. Hint 3. Joe gets all his meals delivered. How did he know that Joe left the house? His story seems airtight. The trash can is empty. Joe took the trash out. So he did leave the house at least once. Liar.
Hey!
Martha went out of town to visit her grandma. It was pretty far. Martha was really tired. She wasn't really paying attention. When she looked down, she saw she was almost out of gas. She found the nearest gas station. As she pulled out, she realized she was being followed.
Oh, no.
She tried to get away, but what was she really gonna do? The car kept following her. Martha saw a police station and drove over, but the car kept following her. Why was this stranger chasing her? Hint 1. The man was happy that Martha pulled into a police station. Hint 2. The man wasn't a cop. Hint 3. There was nothing wrong with Martha's car. What happened? The man saw someone hide in Martha's back seat while she was paying for gas. He followed her to warn her. That's why he was happy she stopped in at the police station. Rebecca had been in the hospital for a while. The doctor said she was gonna be fine, but Rebecca wasn't sure. She didn't really trust doctors, so she decided to go home and hope for the best. Rebecca was walking in the park. It was a beautiful day, but Rebecca was still down. She passed by a payphone. It started to ring. She didn't answer it though. Instead, she fist bumped the air and ran home, cheering. Why? This one's the most mysterious, right? Pause it if you need a bit longer. But before that, let me give you your 3 hints. Hint 1. Rebecca isn't going crazy. Hint 2. The phone call wasn't for Rebecca. Hint 3. When she got home, she wrote a thank you letter to the hospital. Why did Rebecca get so happy all of a sudden? She was in the hospital to cure her deafness. She heard the phone ring, so the operation worked. I couldn't have solved these riddles without hints. What about you? Which one was the hardest? Tell us in the comments.